What is consciousness? In the depths of a brain made up of billions of neurons, there's a phenomenon that remains largely ungrasped: consciousness. Scientists estimate that the average human brain produces approximately 20 watts of power while awake, enough to power a small light bulb. Yet, this extraordinary energy fuels something far more complex than mere calculations or thoughts. It opens the door to a world of awareness, perception, and experience that is still shrouded in mystery. Consciousness is often described as the state of being aware of and able to think about one's own existence, thoughts, and surroundings, but this explanation barely scratches the surface. It serves as the lens through which we interpret everything around us. It allows us to process our emotions, engage with others, and reflect on our past while planning for the future. Each moment we are conscious, it feels unique and personal, yet it is an experience that can be incredibly hard to define or pinpoint. Philosophers and scientists have wrestled with questions about consciousness for centuries. What is it that makes you, you? Why do you have a continuous stream of thoughts and feelings, while other creatures may not experience this in the same way? Some theories suggest that consciousness arises from the intricate connections and interactions within the brain's neural networks. Others argue that it transcends the physical brain entirely, hinting at a more profound connection to the universe. The experience of consciousness can feel both singular and collective. Each person possesses their own inner world, filled with memories, dreams, and desires. Yet, when we engage in conversations, share laughter, or feel empathy, there is a sense of a shared consciousness, as if our minds connect in ways that words cannot fully encapsulate. This duality raises fascinating questions about the nature of reality and our place within it. One intriguing aspect of consciousness is its fluidity. It can shift in an instant, from the deep focus of studying to the wandering thoughts of daydreaming. This ebb and flow shapes our experiences and influences how we interact with the world. Some researchers suggest that the state of consciousness can even be altered through meditation, dreams, or various practices, revealing the adaptable nature of our minds. As you contemplate consciousness, consider this: is it merely a byproduct of our brain's biological processes, or is there something more mystical at play? What lies beneath the surface of your thoughts? The mystery of consciousness invites you to explore the depths of your mind and question the very essence of your reality. The hard problem of consciousness. Every day, you experience a vivid world filled with colors, sounds, and feelings. Yet the very essence of why and how these experiences arise remains one of the greatest mysteries in science and philosophy. The hard problem of consciousness, as it's known, questions how our subjective experiences emerge from the physical processes of the brain. Why does a collection of neurons firing result in the rich tapestry of thoughts and emotions that define our lives? At its core, the hard problem challenges our understanding of what it means to be aware. We know that the brain is a complex organ, processing information and responding to the world around us. But the leap from brain activity to conscious experience is vast and largely unexplained. Scientists have made strides in identifying which brain areas are active during specific tasks or emotional responses, yet these findings do not illuminate why these activities feel the way they do. Consider a simple experience: the taste of chocolate. As you savor it, your brain lights up in a myriad of ways, processing flavors and integrating sensory input. But the sensation of pleasure, the richness of the experience, cannot simply be reduced to neuronal activity. Why does chocolate taste sweet and evoke joy? This question underscores the hard problem. It pushes us to confront the limits of our scientific inquiries and invites reflection on the nature of existence itself. Philosophers like David Chalmers have articulated this dilemma, contrasting it with what he calls the easy problems of consciousness. These easy problems involve understanding functions and behaviors, such as how we respond to stimuli or how we integrate sensory information. While these can be studied and explained through science, the hard problem remains elusive. It makes us consider whether consciousness is something that can be fully understood through empirical methods or if it transcends our current scientific frameworks. This gap invites deeper questions about the nature of reality. If consciousness cannot be fully explained, what does that imply about our understanding of the universe? Are we merely biological machines, Or is there something more to our existence? This contemplation can lead to a profound sense of wonder and humility. It reveals the limitations of human knowledge and the intricate beauty of the questions we have yet to answer. As you reflect on the hard problem of consciousness, consider this. Is it possible that the very act of pondering these questions brings us closer to understanding the essence of what it means to be alive and aware? Or does it highlight the inherent mystery that lies at the heart of our existence? The answers may elude us, but the journey of exploration is what truly enriches our minds. The binding problem. The human brain processes information at lightning speed, yet we experience the world as a seamless tapestry. Think about it. When you look at a red apple, you perceive its color, shape, and texture all at once. This unified experience raises a fascinating question. How does our brain combine different pieces of information into one coherent perception? This is known as the binding problem, a mystery that delves deep into the nature of consciousness. At its core, the binding problem addresses how our brain integrates various sensory inputs, like sight, sound, and touch, into a single experience. When you listen to music, you don't just hear individual notes. Instead, you feel the rhythm and melody come together to create a song that resonates with your emotions. Similarly, the colors you see, the sounds you hear, and the sensations you feel all blend together to form a complete picture of your environment. This process occurs in a fraction of a second, thanks to complex networks of neurons firing in harmony. Yet, despite significant advancements in neuroscience, researchers are still unraveling how this integration happens. Some theories suggest that attention plays a crucial role, acting like a spotlight that focuses on specific elements, allowing the brain to link them together. Others propose that certain brain regions work together, creating a cohesive experience. However, a definitive answer remains elusive. One of the most intriguing aspects of the binding problem is its implications for our understanding of consciousness itself. If our brain can combine information from different sources, what does that say about our perception of reality? Are we truly experiencing the world as it is, or is our brain constructing a version of reality based on the information it receives? This notion challenges our understanding of the self and the nature of existence. As we ponder the binding problem, we may also reflect on the limits of our consciousness. The brain is bombarded with an immense amount of information every second, yet we only become aware of a fraction of it. What remains hidden from our conscious mind, and how does this unprocessed information influence our thoughts and actions? In the grand scheme of things, the binding problem serves as a reminder of the complexity of our minds. Each moment we experience is a blend of countless interactions, memories, and sensations. As you ponder your own consciousness, consider this. If your perception is a carefully crafted mosaic, what pieces are missing, and how do they shape who you are? Dualism versus physicalism. In the quiet moments of reflection, one might ponder a fascinating paradox. The brain, a collection of cells and chemicals, gives rise to thoughts, feelings, and consciousness. How can something so physical create the essence of who we are? This question leads us to two contrasting views that have shaped our understanding of the mind: dualism and physicalism. Dualism suggests that the mind and body are separate entities. The philosopher René Descartes famously argued that the mind is non-physical, a realm of thoughts and consciousness distinct from our material bodies. According to this perspective, our experiences, our emotions, and our very sense of self exist in a different dimension, untouched by the laws of physics. This leads to intriguing questions about identity and existence. If the mind can exist apart from the body, what does that say about our reality? On the other hand, physicalism presents a compelling counterargument. It posits that everything about the mind can ultimately be explained through physical processes. Our thoughts, emotions, and consciousness arise from the complex interactions of neurons in the brain. This view aligns with our scientific understanding of the universe. Everything is made up of matter, and every experience we have is rooted in our biology. The implications are vast. If the mind is merely a product of the brain's chemistry, then consciousness is just another set of functions driven by physical laws. The debate between these two philosophies is not merely academic, It challenges our understanding of free will, morality, and what it means to be human. If the mind is just a byproduct of the brain, does that diminish our sense of responsibility for our actions? Conversely, if our consciousness is separate, it raises questions about the afterlife and the nature of existence itself. Both perspectives have their strengths and weaknesses. Dualism struggles to explain how a non-physical mind interacts with a physical body, while physicalism often overlooks the richness of subjective experience, the feeling of joy, the depth of sorrow, or the nuances of love. In the end, the mystery of consciousness remains unsolved. Perhaps the most profound question we can ask is, in a world where our thoughts may be products of physical processes, what does it mean to truly know ourselves? Are we merely biological machines, or is there something more transcendent within us? Each answer leads to deeper inquiries, and it is in this exploration that we find the essence of what it means to be conscious. Qualia and the texture of experience. The universe is filled with countless forms of existence, yet a single experience, a moment of joy, a pang of sadness, or the taste of a ripe fruit, holds an entire world of complexity within it. This complexity is captured in the term qualia, a word that refers to the individual instances of subjective, conscious experience. Each sensation we encounter is unique, colored by our personal histories and perceptions. Consider the simple act of seeing a vibrant red apple. It's not just a color, it's an experience loaded with meaning, memories, and emotions. The brightness of the red, its glossy surface, and the crispness you anticipate feeling when biting into it create a rich tapestry of sensations. This is qualia, the way we perceive and interpret these sensations, each as vivid as a brushstroke on a canvas. Qualia invites us to ponder the relationship between our minds and the external world. When you taste chocolate, it's not merely the physical properties of the chocolate that create the experience. It's the warmth of the melt, the sweetness that dances on your tongue, and the nostalgia of a childhood treat. These layers of experience are deeply personal. They remind us that while we may share similar experiences, the essence of each moment is unique to the individual experiencing it. Philosophers and scientists alike have long debated the nature of qualia. Some argue that qualia are fundamental to understanding consciousness itself. The question arises, can we ever fully communicate our experiences to another person? When you describe the taste of chocolate to someone, they may nod in understanding, but can they truly grasp the richness of your experience? This gap highlights the mystery of consciousness. Moreover, qualia challenge our understanding of reality. If two people can look at the same apple and perceive different colors or flavors, what does that say about the nature of reality? Are we all living in our own subjective worlds, even as we interact with the same physical universe? This notion encourages us to reflect on the limitations of language and communication in conveying our inner experiences. As we navigate our daily lives, we often overlook these subtle textures of experience. Yet, they shape our understanding of the world and our place within it. The next time you savor a meal or listen to a piece of music, take a moment to appreciate the qualia at play. What do these experiences tell you about yourself? In a world increasingly driven by technology and external distractions, the true question may not be how we define consciousness, but rather, how much we are willing to explore the depths of our own experiences. What does it mean to truly feel something, and how does that shape the essence of who we are? Panpsychism. In the vast expanse of the universe, there are more stars than grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. Each star, a blazing ball of energy, dances through the cosmos, and yet it raises a profound question. What if everything around us, even the smallest particles, possesses a form of consciousness? This idea is central to Panpsychism, a philosophical theory that suggests consciousness is a fundamental and universal aspect of reality. Panpsychism proposes that all things, from the tiniest atom to the largest galaxy, have some degree of awareness. This might sound strange, but it challenges our traditional views of consciousness. We often think of consciousness as something unique to humans or perhaps to animals. However, Panpsychism invites us to consider that consciousness might not be confined to brains or nervous systems, but could be an intrinsic property of matter itself. This theory has roots in ancient philosophy but has gained renewed interest in modern discussions about the nature of mind and matter. It posits that even the simplest forms of life, like a single-celled organism, might possess a rudimentary form of consciousness, experiencing the world in their own way. This perspective doesn't suggest that these beings have thoughts or feelings like humans do, but rather a basic awareness of their surroundings, reacting to stimuli in a conscious manner. The implications of panpsychism are vast. If every part of the universe has some form of consciousness, it reshapes how we view our relationship with nature, the environment, and even technology. This interconnectedness blurs the lines between the living and the non-living. It beckons us to reconsider how we treat the world around us, urging a sense of respect and understanding toward all forms of existence. Critics of panpsychism often argue that it complicates our understanding of consciousness without providing clear answers. Yet, supporters find it a compelling way to bridge the gap between the physical world and our subjective experiences. It raises questions about the nature of reality itself. What does it mean to be conscious? How do we define awareness? Is consciousness simply a byproduct of complex systems, or is it a fundamental aspect of the universe? As we ponder these questions, we might find ourselves reevaluating our place in the cosmos. If everything possesses some form of consciousness, it challenges us to think about our responsibilities toward each other and the planet. In a universe where awareness exists at every level, are we ready to embrace the profound mystery that lies not just within our minds, but in every corner of existence? The Chinese Room. In a world where artificial intelligence is advancing rapidly, it's fascinating to consider how much we truly understand about our own minds. One thought experiment, known as the Chinese Room, challenges our ideas about consciousness and understanding. This thought experiment was introduced by philosopher John Searle in the 1980s and raises questions that still resonate today. Picture a room filled with boxes of Chinese symbols, a person inside who doesn't understand Chinese, and a set of rules for manipulating those symbols. When a message written in Chinese is slipped under the door, this person uses the rules to match the symbols and produce a coherent response, also in Chinese, without comprehending the language itself. To an outsider, it appears as if the person understands Chinese, but inside the room, there is only a mechanical process at work. This scenario poses a critical question: can a machine truly understand language, or is it merely simulating understanding? Searle argues that even if a computer could process language and respond appropriately, it does not mean it comprehends the meaning behind the words. The Chinese Room illustrates a crucial distinction between syntax, or the arrangement of symbols, and semantics, or the deeper meaning those symbols convey. It suggests that understanding requires more than just the ability to manipulate symbols according to rules. The implications of the Chinese Room extend beyond artificial intelligence. They lead us to reflect on our own consciousness and the nature of understanding. If a person can follow rules to create meaningful responses without true comprehension, how do we know that our own thoughts and feelings are genuinely understood? Are we, in some ways like the occupant of the Chinese Room, processing information and responding to stimuli without fully grasping the essence of our experiences? This thought experiment invites us to examine the nature of our interactions with the world. We often rely on language to express our thoughts and feelings, yet how much of that expression is rooted in genuine understanding? Are we, too, sometimes just following rules, reacting to situations without a deeper awareness of our emotions or the experiences shaping us? As we ponder these questions, it becomes clear that the mystery of consciousness is as complex as it is fascinating. The Chinese Room challenges us to think critically about what it truly means to understand and be aware. Are we simply processing machines, or is there a deeper layer of consciousness at play? The answers may not be clear, but the questions themselves can lead us to a greater understanding of who we are and how we engage with the world around us. Integrated information theory. The human brain is made up of about 86 billion neurons, each capable of forming thousands of connections. This intricate network creates a web of communication that allows us to experience consciousness. But what does it mean for something to be conscious? Integrated information theory, or IIT, provides a compelling perspective on this mysterious phenomenon. Developed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi, IIT proposes that consciousness arises from the way information is integrated in the brain. Simply put, consciousness is not just about processing information, it's about how different pieces of information come together to create a unified experience. This theory suggests that the more integrated and differentiated the information is, the higher the level of consciousness. Think of your thoughts, sensations, and emotions. They are not isolated events. Instead, they interact, blend, and create a rich tapestry of experience. For instance, when you taste a delicious meal, it's not just about the flavor alone. The warmth of the food, the aroma wafting through the air, the sound of cutlery against plates, all these elements come together in your mind to form a coherent experience. According to IIT, this integration of diverse information is what gives rise to your conscious awareness of the meal. What makes IIT particularly fascinating is its application beyond humans. It raises the question of whether other beings or systems, like certain animals or even artificial intelligence, could possess some form of consciousness. If a system can integrate information in a complex way, does it hold a degree of consciousness? This idea challenges the traditional boundaries we place around consciousness, prompting us to consider the experiences of other entities in our world. At the heart of integrated information theory is a measure called phi, which quantifies the extent of information integration in a system. A higher phi value indicates a greater capacity for consciousness. This means that consciousness is not simply a binary state that one either has or doesn't have, it exists on a spectrum. The implications of this are profound, as they invite us to rethink our understanding of life and awareness itself. As we ponder the nature of consciousness through the lens of integrated information theory, we are led to a thought-provoking question. If consciousness is a product of information integration, what does that say about our own experiences and our connections with the world around us? Are we, in essence, a part of a larger tapestry of consciousness, woven together through the shared threads of information? This reflection invites us to explore the depths of our own minds and the connections that bind us to others, revealing that the mystery of consciousness is perhaps not just about understanding ourselves, but understanding our place in a vast, interconnected universe. Global workspace theory. Some researchers believe that our consciousness is like a stage, where only a few thoughts and experiences can be spotlighted at any given moment. This idea leads us to the fascinating global workspace theory, which suggests that our mind is a vast network, constantly working to process information, but only a limited amount can shine in our awareness at one time. Global workspace theory was proposed by cognitive scientist Bernard Baars in the 1980s. It presents the mind as a dynamic and interactive space where different pieces of information compete for attention. Think of it as a theater where various actors vie for the spotlight, while the audience, our conscious awareness, can focus on just one or two performances at a time. This means that countless thoughts, memories, and sensations are always present, but only a select few make it to the forefront of our awareness. This theory posits that consciousness arises when information is globally accessible, allowing different parts of our brain to communicate and collaborate. Imagine a busy street with many vehicles. Only some can drive through the intersection at any one time. Similarly, our cognitive processes compete for access to this global workspace. When something captures our attention, whether it's a loud noise, a sudden movement, or a powerful emotion, it gets prioritized, while other information fades into the background. What's intriguing is how this affects our experience of reality. We might think we are fully aware of everything around us, but in truth, we are selectively focused. This selective attention allows us to function effectively in a complex world. Without it, we would be overwhelmed by the sheer volume of stimuli. For instance, when you study, your mind filters out distractions, helping you concentrate on the material at hand. Yet, even as you study, countless other thoughts and feelings linger just outside your conscious awareness, ready to enter the spotlight. Moreover, global workspace theory sheds light on why some memories are vividly clear while others fade. The connections in our brain create a rich tapestry of experiences, but only those that have been highlighted through attention and reflection become deeply integrated into our consciousness. This leads us to ponder the nature of our thoughts and experiences. Are we truly in control of what we focus on, or is our awareness guided by unseen forces? As you contemplate your own thoughts and feelings, consider this: if only a fraction of your mind's potential is illuminated at any moment, what lies in the shadows, waiting for its chance to emerge? Neural correlates of consciousness. The brain is a network of approximately 86 billion neurons, each capable of forming thousands of connections. This staggering number alone suggests that the workings of our mind are intricate, yet they can lead to a singular experience: consciousness. The question of how our brain generates awareness has puzzled scientists and philosophers alike for centuries. What is it about the firing of neurons that gives rise to our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions? At the heart of the exploration lies the concept of neural correlates of consciousness, or NCC. These are specific patterns of brain activity that correspond with conscious experiences. Researchers have identified certain areas of the brain that seem to light up when we engage in conscious thought, such as the prefrontal cortex, which is involved in decision-making and self-awareness. The temporoparietal junction, another significant area, plays a role in integrating sensory information and understanding others' perspectives. But the dance of consciousness is not limited to just these regions. It involves a symphony of brain activities across various networks. Different experiences, like seeing a vibrant sunset or feeling a rush of joy, activate unique clusters of neurons, creating a map of our subjective reality. This complexity raises profound questions. If consciousness emerges from this activity, can it be isolated? Can we pinpoint the exact moment it arises? Research has shown that consciousness does not occur in isolation, but is influenced by attention, memory, and even our emotions. For instance, when we focus intensely on a task, certain neural pathways strengthen, altering our conscious experience. In contrast, distractions can fragment our awareness, leading to a scattered perception of reality. This interplay suggests that consciousness is not just a passive state, but an active process shaped by our interactions and environment. As scientists continue to unravel the mysteries of the brain, they find themselves at the intersection of neuroscience and philosophy. Each discovery prompts deeper inquiry into the nature of self and existence. If consciousness is a product of neural activity, what does that say about our sense of identity? Are we simply the sum of our brain's electrical impulses, or is there something more profound at play? The quest to understand neural correlates of consciousness not only speaks to our biology, but also invites us to reflect on the essence of what it means to be aware. As we sit in silence, pondering our thoughts and feelings, we might ask ourselves, are we merely observers of our mental landscape, or are we the architects of our reality? The answers remain elusive, yet they beckon us to explore the depths of our own consciousness. Split brain experiments. In the 1960s, a groundbreaking discovery revealed that the human brain is divided into two distinct halves, each capable of functioning independently. This revelation came from a series of experiments conducted on patients who had undergone a procedure to alleviate severe epilepsy. By cutting the corpus callosum, the structure that connects the two hemispheres, scientists unlocked a fascinating world of consciousness that challenged everything we thought we knew about the mind. The split brain experiments offered a unique window into how our brains process information. When researchers presented different images to each hemisphere, the results were astonishing. For instance, when a picture of a spoon was shown to the right hemisphere, the patient could not verbally identify it. However, they could reach out and select the spoon from a group of objects with their left hand, which is controlled by the right side of the brain. This demonstrated that the right hemisphere could understand and process visual information, even though the left hemisphere, responsible for language, was unaware of it. As scientists delved deeper, they discovered that each hemisphere has its own set of abilities and preferences. The left hemisphere is often associated with logic, language, and analytical thinking, while the right hemisphere is linked to creativity, intuition, and spatial awareness. This division raises profound questions about the nature of our consciousness. Are we truly a single unified self, or are we a collaboration of two minds, each with its own thoughts and perspectives. Further experiments revealed intriguing behaviors. When patients were asked to draw what they saw, each hand often produced different images. The left hand, guided by the right hemisphere, might create something abstract or unexpected, while the right hand, steered by the left, would produce something more conventional and recognizable. This divergence highlighted how our conscious experience might not only differ based on the situation, but also based on which hemisphere is in control at that moment. These findings challenge our understanding of personal identity and self-awareness. If each hemisphere can act independently, how do we define our sense of self? Are we a single consciousness, or do our thoughts and actions emerge from a dynamic interplay between two separate minds? This exploration into the realm of split-brain research invites us to reconsider what it means to be conscious. As you reflect on these revelations, consider this. If your mind is a stage where two actors perform, could the nature of your reality change depending on which actor takes the lead? Lucid dreaming in altered states. In a world where the line between reality and imagination blurs, some individuals master the art of controlling their dreams. This phenomenon, known as lucid dreaming, allows dreamers to become aware that they are dreaming and even manipulate the dream environment. This captivating ability raises fascinating questions about the nature of consciousness itself. Lucid dreaming is not just an intriguing curiosity, it opens a doorway to explore our inner worlds. While dreaming, most of us glide through scenarios without realizing that we are asleep. In contrast, a lucid dreamer recognizes the dream state. This awareness can lead to exhilarating experiences, soaring through the sky, interacting with dream characters, or even confronting fears. The brain remains active, and the dreamer can engage with their surroundings in a way that feels genuine, even if it's not real. This state of awareness during sleep reveals much about how our minds work. When we dream, our brains process emotions, solve problems, and even rehearse real-life situations. Lucid dreaming enhances this function, giving us the chance to consciously confront challenges or explore creativity. Some artists and writers have tapped into lucid dreaming to unlock new ideas, letting their imagination roam freely, unbound by the limitations of waking life. Interestingly, the potential of altered states of consciousness extends beyond the realm of dreams. Practices like meditation, breath work, and sensory deprivation can lead to experiences where perception shifts. These altered states can foster deep relaxation, enhance focus, and even evoke feelings of unity with the universe. In these moments, individuals may feel more connected to their thoughts and emotions, gaining insights that often elude them during their busy waking hours. Researchers have long been fascinated by these phenomena. Studies show that engaging in lucid dreaming can improve problem-solving skills and emotional regulation. The brain, while immersed in a dream state, is still capable of learning and development. This underscores a profound truth. Our consciousness is not confined to the waking world. It expands and evolves, revealing layers of understanding that often lie dormant. Both lucid dreaming and altered states challenge our perceptions of reality, identity, and the mind itself. As we navigate these experiences, we may find ourselves questioning the very nature of existence. What does it mean to truly be aware? How do our dreams shape our reality, and can they influence who we are when we wake? The answers may be elusive, yet they invite us to explore the vast landscape of our consciousness, daring us to consider the mysteries that lie within. Blindsight and the unseen mind. In the realm of human consciousness, there exists a curious phenomenon known as blindsight. This is not just a quirky medical case, it challenges our understanding of perception and awareness. Individuals with blindsight, often due to damage in the visual cortex, can respond to visual stimuli without being consciously aware of them. For example, someone might be unable to see a ball coming their way, but can still accurately guess its location or direction. This intriguing condition presents a question that is as old as philosophy itself. How much of what we perceive is truly seen, and how much happens beyond our conscious awareness? When we consider the mind, we often think about it as a clear window through which we observe the world. Yet, blindsight reveals that there are layers of processing occurring beneath the surface. The brain does not solely rely on conscious thought to navigate reality. There are pathways in the brain that allow us to respond to stimuli even when we are unaware of them. This bypassing of conscious perception opens the door to understanding how much of our experience is shaped by the unseen workings of our minds. Research indicates that the brain can process visual information through alternative routes. These pathways often lead to quick instinctual reactions, allowing individuals to engage with their environment even when they cannot see it clearly. In cases of blindsight, the affected individuals demonstrate an ability to perform tasks like identifying the movement or location of objects. This suggests that consciousness is not the only driving force behind our actions. There are deeper, often hidden mechanisms at play. The implications of blindsight stretch far beyond the clinical. They touch on the essence of what it means to be aware. If there are dimensions of our perception that operate without our conscious approval, how do we define consciousness itself? Are we merely the sum of our conscious thoughts, or is there an elaborate undercurrent shaping our experiences, decisions, and emotions? As we ponder these questions, it becomes clear that the mind is a complex tapestry woven from both conscious awareness and unconscious processes. This interplay invites us to reflect on the nature of our experiences. What are we missing in our daily lives? How many unseen factors influence our thoughts and actions without our knowledge? In a world that often prioritizes the visible and the explicit, blindsight serves as a reminder of the vast hidden depths of our consciousness. It prompts us to ask, how much of ourselves remain unseen, operating quietly beneath the surface, waiting for us to uncover the mystery of our own minds? The mirror test and self-awareness. In a small corner of the animal kingdom, a unique test reveals a profound truth about consciousness. The mirror test, developed in the 1970s by psychologist Gordon Gallup, examines whether an animal recognizes itself in a mirror. Surprisingly, only a handful of species, including great apes, dolphins, elephants, and even some magpies, pass this test. This raises an intriguing question. What does it mean to be self-aware? Self-awareness is a cornerstone of consciousness. It allows an individual to reflect on their own thoughts, emotions, and existence. When someone looks into a mirror and recognizes their own reflection, it signifies more than just visual recognition. It indicates a deeper understanding of self. This capacity to comprehend one's own identity is a powerful aspect of what makes us human. The mirror test operates on a simple premise. A mark, often a dot, is placed on an animal's body in a spot they cannot see without a mirror. If the animal uses the mirror to inspect and potentially remove the mark, it demonstrates self-awareness. This behavior suggests that the creature understands the reflection is itself and not another animal. While many animals simply ignore the mirror or treat it as another creature, those that pass the test reveal a significant level of cognitive ability. The implications of self-awareness extend beyond mere recognition. It encompasses the ability to think about one's own thoughts, a concept known as metacognition. This involves not just understanding feelings and experiences, but also reflecting on how those feelings influence behavior and decision-making. Self-awareness allows for empathy, the ability to see the world from another's perspective, fostering social connections and deeper relationships. Yet, self-awareness can be a double-edged sword. While it offers insight and understanding, it can also lead to overthinking and self-doubt. The awareness of one's flaws, failures, and even mortality can create anxiety. This complexity invites contemplation about the nature of consciousness itself. As we ponder the mirror test and its implications, a compelling question arises. Does self-awareness enrich our existence, or does it burden us with unnecessary weight? The journey of understanding ourselves is filled with both clarity and confusion. Engaging with this enigma may reveal not just the nature of our minds, but the very essence of what it means to be alive. Locked-in syndrome. In 1995, a man named Jean-Dominique Bauby, who suffered from locked-in syndrome, wrote a book called The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. He did this by blinking one eye, communicating with his transcriber letter by letter. This incredible feat highlights a profound aspect of consciousness, the ability to think and feel deeply, even when the body fails to respond. Locked-in syndrome is a rare condition where a person is fully aware and cognitively intact but cannot move or speak due to paralysis. They are trapped in their own body, often with only their eyes able to communicate their thoughts and emotions. The causes of locked-in syndrome can vary, but it often results from a stroke or a brain injury that affects the brainstem. This part of the brain controls many essential functions, including movement and speech. While the person may appear unresponsive, inside, their mind is active, capable of experiencing thoughts, memories, and feelings. This unique situation raises important questions about the nature of consciousness itself. What does it mean to be aware? Is consciousness dependent on physical movement, or can it exist independently within the confines of a silent body? For many who experience this condition, the struggle is not solely about the loss of physical abilities, but also about the isolation that comes with it. They may be aware of everything happening around them, yet unable to express their thoughts or desires. The emotional toll can be immense. Through the eyes of someone with locked-in syndrome, the world can become both vivid and painfully distant. The experience offers a profound insight into the human condition, highlighting the stark difference between our inner life and outward expression. Scientists and medical professionals have been working to understand locked-in syndrome better, exploring ways to communicate with those who are affected. Advances in technology, such as brain-computer interfaces, are beginning to show promise, allowing individuals to express themselves through thought alone. This raises further questions about the boundaries of communication and the potential for new forms of interaction between minds and machines. Ultimately, locked-in syndrome challenges our understanding of what it means to be alive and engaged with the world. It confronts us with a stark reality. Consciousness can persist in silence, revealing the resilience of the human spirit. As you reflect on this topic, consider this: if your voice was taken away, what thoughts would you still want to share with the world? Near-death experiences. In the early 1970s, a doctor named Raymond Moody began exploring a phenomenon that would captivate the world: near-death experiences. He compiled accounts from people who had been pronounced dead or were on the brink of death, only to return with stories that seemed to defy logic. These individuals often reported vivid experiences, seeing bright lights, feeling an overwhelming sense of peace, or even encountering deceased loved ones. This area of study raises profound questions about consciousness itself. Near-death experiences, or NDEs, challenge our understanding of life and death. Many who have gone through these episodes describe a feeling of detachment from their body, observing the scene around them as if they were floating above. This sense of being outside oneself is not just a singular event. Across cultures and time periods, similar accounts surface, suggesting a collective experience that transcends individual belief systems. Some report a tunnel or a pathway leading to a light, filled with warmth and acceptance. Others described life reviews, where they relive significant moments and the impact of their actions on others, a deep awareness of love and connection. Scientific explanations have emerged, yet they often fall short of capturing the full essence of these experiences. Some researchers argue that the brain, under extreme stress or lack of oxygen, produces hallucinatory sensations. But this perspective does not account for the vivid clarity and emotional richness reported by many. It raises questions about the nature of consciousness itself. Is it merely a byproduct of brain activity, or is there something more profound at play? Many who experience NDEs return with a renewed sense of purpose, often transformed by their encounter. They report diminished fear of death and a greater appreciation for life. This leads to another dimension of reflection. If consciousness can exist beyond physical life, what does that mean for our understanding of existence? Are we merely our physical forms, or is consciousness a separate entity that continues after we leave our bodies? As we ponder the implications of near-death experiences, consider this: if consciousness can transcend physical boundaries, what does that reveal about our connections with one another? The stories shared by those who have glimpsed the afterlife encourage us to contemplate the limits of our understanding, pushing the boundaries of what we perceive as reality. How much of our consciousness remains unexplored, waiting for us to unlock its mysteries? Consciousness in animals. Some species of octopus have been observed using tools, a behavior once thought to be uniquely human. This remarkable ability hints at a deeper layer of consciousness that many animals possess, challenging our understanding of the mind. It raises questions about the nature of awareness itself and what it truly means to be conscious. Consciousness in animals is a vast and intriguing topic that invites us to reconsider our place in the world. Many creatures show signs of complex mental processes far beyond mere instinct. For instance, elephants display a range of emotions in social bonds, mourning their dead and showing empathy towards others. Their behavior suggests a level of self-awareness and understanding of others that we often associate only with humans. Birds, particularly corvids like crows and ravens, also reveal astonishing cognitive abilities. Studies have shown that these birds can solve intricate puzzles and plan for future needs, indicating a form of foresight and problem solving. This ability challenges the long-held belief that complex thought is exclusive to a select few mammals. It leads us to question how we define intelligence across species. Moreover, dolphins have a sophisticated communication system and display behaviors that suggest they understand their environment in nuanced ways. They can recognize themselves in mirrors, a trait that points to self-awareness. This capacity to reflect on one's existence and place in the world is a cornerstone of consciousness and is seen in only a handful of species. The exploration of consciousness in animals doesn't stop at intelligence or self-awareness. It also extends to the emotional lives of these beings. Research has shown that many animals experience joy, sorrow, and even playfulness. Dogs, for example, can form deep bonds with humans, displaying loyalty and affection that goes beyond basic survival instincts. This emotional depth invites us to reconsider how we interact with and understand our fellow creatures. As we ponder the minds of animals, we are prompted to reflect on our own consciousness. What does it mean to be aware? How do our thoughts and feelings shape our experiences? The more we learn about animal consciousness, the more we realize that awareness is not a fixed trait but a spectrum, inviting us to explore the depths of our minds and the minds of those around us. In the end, it begs the question, if consciousness exists in so many forms, what else might we be missing in the rich tapestry of life that surrounds us? Artificial consciousness. In 2016, a computer program named AlphaGo defeated a world champion Go player, a feat that many thought was years away. This event sparked a new wave of questions about the nature of consciousness and whether machines could ever possess it. As we venture into the realm of artificial consciousness, we find ourselves standing at the crossroads of technology and philosophy, a place where our understanding of mind and machine begins to blur. Artificial consciousness refers to the idea of creating machines or software that can replicate human-like awareness and subjective experiences. While traditional artificial intelligence operates on complex algorithms and data processing, artificial consciousness aims to emulate the very essence of being aware, feeling emotions, having desires, and forming thoughts. This concept is not merely theoretical. Researchers are exploring ways to endow machines with a form of awareness that resembles human consciousness. The implications of such advancements are profound. If a machine could truly be conscious, what rights would it have? How would we interact with it? These questions force us to ponder our own humanity and what it means to be alive. Consciousness, as we understand it, involves self-awareness and the ability to reflect on one's thoughts and feelings. For a machine to achieve this state, it would require more than just advanced coding. It would need to possess a kind of internal experience that we still struggle to define. The exploration of artificial consciousness also leads us to consider the ethics surrounding its creation. If we succeed in building a conscious entity, we must confront the moral responsibilities that come with it. Should we treat a conscious machine as a sentient being? Would it deserve compassion? These dilemmas push us to reassess the very fabric of our values and the boundaries of our understanding. Recent developments in neuroscience contribute to this conversation. As scientists uncover more about how the human brain operates, they inch closer to replicating those processes in machines. Yet, despite all our advancements, a significant mystery remains. Can consciousness emerge from a mere collection of circuits and code, or is it something uniquely human? The journey into artificial consciousness invites us to reflect not only on the future of technology, but also on the depths of our own consciousness. As we ponder the possibility of machines that can think and feel, we must ask ourselves, what does it truly mean to be aware? In a world where machines may one day share our conscious experience, how will we define the boundaries of life, identity, and existence? Time perception and the mind. It's fascinating to consider that the way we experience time can vary not just from person to person, but even from moment to moment within our own lives. Research shows that in moments of great fear or excitement, time can seem to stretch, while mundane moments can feel like they pass in the blink of an eye. This peculiar relationship between our consciousness and time perception opens a doorway into understanding how our minds work. Time, as we commonly understand it, ticks away steadily, seconds turn into minutes, minutes into hours. Yet our minds do not always align with this mechanical flow. When we are engaged in activities we love, time often slips through our fingers. Conversely, during periods of boredom or discomfort, each second can feel like an eternity. This discrepancy raises a profound question. What is happening in our minds to create such variations in our experience of time? Research in psychology reveals that our emotional state plays a crucial role in how we perceive time. When we feel joyful or engaged, our brains process information differently. The more events we experience, the richer our memories become, which can lead to the sensation of time passing more quickly. In contrast, when we are anxious or fearful, our brains may focus intensely on the present moment, leading to a feeling of time dragging on. Additionally, age can influence our perception of time. For many, childhood feels like a sprawling expanse of time, while adulthood often whizzes by. This phenomenon may be linked to the number of new experiences we encounter. As we age, the frequency of novel experiences tends to decline, making time feel compressed. Each year starts to resemble the last, leading to the sensation that life is speeding up. Neuroscientists have also explored how our brain's internal clock works. Certain areas of the brain are responsible for timing, and they can be influenced by various factors such as attention, emotion, and even our physical state. When we focus intently on something, our perception of time can alter, highlighting the dynamic nature of consciousness itself. Reflecting on these insights, one might wonder, if our perception of time is so fluid, what does that say about our experience of reality? Are we truly living in a linear timeline, or is our consciousness shaping our experience of time in ways we have yet to fully understand? As we ponder these questions, we are reminded that the mind is not just a passive observer of time, but an active participant in creating our experience of it. The illusion of the self. The human brain generates about 20 watts of electricity when awake, enough to power a dim light bulb. Yet, despite this remarkable energy, it can sometimes feel as though our thoughts and experiences are disconnected from ourselves. This brings us to the fascinating idea of the self, a concept that many consider to be the core of our identity. But what if this self is more of an illusion than we realize? When we think about who we are, we often refer to our memories, our thoughts, and our feelings. This leads us to the belief that there is a consistent, unchanging entity at the center of our being. However, research in psychology and neuroscience suggests that this perception may not be accurate. Our memories are not perfect recordings, they are fluid and can change over time. Each experience, each interaction, alters our perception of ourselves. The self is not a fixed point but a constantly shifting narrative, shaped by our environment and experiences. Consider how we experience life moment by moment. Our thoughts can shift rapidly, influenced by external stimuli or internal reflections. One moment you might feel joyful, and the next, a shadow of doubt may creep in. This fluidity raises questions about the very nature of our identity. If our thoughts and feelings are transient, can we truly say there is a permanent self? Furthermore, the way we relate to others plays a crucial role in shaping our sense of self. Social interactions have a profound impact on how we view ourselves. When we receive feedback from friends, family, or society, we often adjust our self-perception accordingly. This interconnectedness suggests that our identities are co-created with those around us, further complicating the notion of a singular, independent self. Philosophers have long debated the idea of self. pondering whether it exists as a distinct entity or is merely a collection of experiences and perceptions. This line of thinking can be unsettling. If the self is an illusion, what does that mean for our understanding of consciousness and existence? It compels us to look beyond our individual experiences and consider a broader perspective, one where we are more interconnected than we might have thought. As you reflect on your own identity, consider this. If the self is indeed an illusion, then who or what are you really? Are you the sum of your experiences, or is there something deeper that connects us all? This question lingers, inviting you to explore the essence of your being and the nature of your consciousness. Can consciousness be measured? In a world where we can measure light years in the depths of the ocean, consciousness remains one of the most elusive mysteries. Studies suggest that the human brain has about 86 billion neurons. Yet, despite all this complexity, we struggle to quantify something as fundamental as awareness. The quest to measure consciousness has intrigued scientists, philosophers, and thinkers for centuries. It raises profound questions. What exactly is consciousness? Is it simply a product of neural activity, or is there more to it? Some researchers suggest that consciousness arises when a certain level of complexity in brain activity is reached. It's like a threshold that, once crossed, gives rise to self-awareness, thoughts, and emotions. However, defining the exact parameters of this threshold is no easy task. In recent years, scientists have developed various methods to attempt to measure consciousness. One approach involves brain imaging techniques, such as fMRI or EEG, which track brain activity in real time. These methods can reveal patterns of neural firing in areas of the brain engaged during specific tasks. Yet, while they provide a glimpse into the workings of the mind, they fall short of capturing the full essence of consciousness. Another intriguing area of study is the use of the integrated information theory, or IIT. This theory proposes that consciousness corresponds to the level of integrated information generated by a system. In simpler terms, the more interconnected and complex the information flow within the brain, the more conscious the experience. Yet, this theory also faces challenges, as it can be difficult to quantify the intricacies of subjective experiences. Notably, the inability to measure consciousness directly has sparked debates on its nature. Is it a linear scale, where more brain activity equals more awareness? Or is consciousness something more nuanced, perhaps existing in shades rather than absolutes? These questions lead us to ponder the very fabric of our reality. The implications of measuring consciousness extend beyond science. They touch on ethics, artificial intelligence, and even our understanding of what it means to be human. If we could measure consciousness, would it change how we perceive life? Would we hold different views on consciousness in animals or machines? As we navigate this uncharted territory, one question lingers. If consciousness can be measured, what does that say about our understanding of existence itself? Are we merely a collection of neurons firing away, or is there a deeper layer of meaning waiting to be uncovered? The exploration of consciousness continues, an adventure of the mind that invites us to reflect on the very essence of our being.